how did you use or did you had this awareness, consciousness about this different frequency and how it came into your mind, into your soul to use it through your music?
It was a process. I've been into spirituality and mindfulness and meditation for a long time as well. My parents are both healers of different kinds. My mom is a psychologist, my dad is a medical doctor. And, so I grew up even as a kid, my mom was really into like Carl Jung and Wayne
Yeah.
Dyer, and we had like Eastern philosophy lying around. And I always loved, learning about all religions and just for the mythology and the story of it and the epicness and the fact that it wasn't, to me, it was never about like one thing being the truth as far as the story. It was the fact that you could see everyone in it, like it connect, like just the interconnectedness of it all. So, when I moved to LA, probably for like the last 10 years, really, I've been a very, uh, like a serious meditator, Vipassana meditation specifically. And, got into, I started practicing yoga and slowly kind of got into these different specific mindfulness traditions. And so, for a long time, I was mostly just focused on electro or, EDM or dance music or however you want to say it, like from that more just club specific perspective. Like that's really, and I love house music. I love raves and dance music. Like, and those environments, they can be very healing in the right setting and when it's the right time, like those are for, especially for kids that are in their late teens or 20s, coming into the world, and you can have these really cosmic experiences with those things of like what it really is it helps you be present, and you're in that moment and you look out and you see like it feels like you're watching a movie of your own life because you see how special and epic it is to just actually be in your senses, be in your body in that moment. And so, that's what informed me. And at the same time, I also had this other side of my life where I was meditating and, learning about ancient healing traditions. Not so much at the beginning, I wasn't really thinking of it as just healing. I was more just thinking it was cool that you could, go inward and have these experiences that kind of felt good or made you feel like high, for a lack of a better term, high but grounded. And so those two things kind of felt like two very separate things that were running parallel to each other, but didn't necessarily intersect. And then, through the course of my life, like I hit a few years ago, I started to hit a wall and creatively and emotionally, and I was feeling really stuck in my creativity. I was not really taking the best care of myself spiritually or even physically or mentally. I was, in bad relationships. I was kind of chasing things outside of myself that weren't necessarily bringing me
Mm.
any lasting peace or joy. And meditation was helping, but I even, after like I kind of hit a low point and just sitting there with myself, I realized I had to get like more curious and go deeper to figure out what, there was something missing in it. And then that's really when I kind of discovered sound healing specifically. And I've had some really cool friends who have introduced me to sound baths, and I'd done a little bit of that over the years, but for some reason it had never like quite fully clicked how powerful just sound as a meditation tool, as a sensory anchor could be. And um, you know, I kind of started just experimenting with it in my own practice and found how healing and powerful it could be. And it was starting to make me feel like myself again and feel connected to something bigger than myself and inspired. And then at that same time, I found the work of this guy, Jonathan Goldman, who wrote this book, Healing Sounds, in the 90s. And it's become one of the most, you know, pivotal books on sound healing from someone from the West. And he's, been doing this since the 1970s, and he studied under, the Tibetan chant masters, monks in Tibet who have been practicing these things in the Buddhist tradition for like thousands of years. But he's also a brilliant scientist, and so his books connected the science and spirituality with music. And he's also an incredible, musician who's been making chanting, Om chanting and using frequency. So he kind of introduced me to the idea that we can use sound to heal, not only just from an emotional perspective, but like literally on the
Yeah.
vibrational level.
Mm.
And so I started connecting these things that I learned in, Hindu teaching and Buddhist teaching and other mystical traditions that all basically say the same thing at the root of it, which is that, you know, in the beginning was the word, the Big Bang, Om. It's all just sound. God said, let there be light. It's about
Exactly.
speaking into existence and realizing that we are part of that speech. We're part of that vibration too. And the only thing that's blocking us from understanding that is our mind, like the ego that thinks that we are separate from the rest of it because we have, it's my stuff. This is what I like. This is what I don't like, and it blocks us from the blessing of just appreciating what is in the moment. And so that just the combination of realizing that and then having my mind blown by the understanding that you can really harness vibration within yourself through chanting or humming and also through absorbing frequencies through, in specific frequencies, which is like pitch or notes, and also the relationships between the frequencies to create intervals. You can merge with that field of consciousness to
Mm.
create healing effects for yourself and to connect you to others. And
Wow.
so it just blew my mind. And I couldn't help but start to put those practices into the music I was making. And, I still love to dance. I love house music. I love to DJ and be at those type of environments when the vibe is really good and high. And so I was like, this can be something that really merges all those parts of myself and feels like a true expression of my heart and soul that I can, hopefully provide to people to be of service and to connect them together and with me in a way that, my goal was when people hear these records, it, so that's why it's so, brings me so much joy and honor to hear you say that it lifts your spirits when you hear it, because that's what it's for. It's supposed to be a tool that helps you tap into that subconscious mind below the busy, the monkey mind, it's called, like running around all day
Yeah, exactly.
again, I gotta get this. I don't have this. Like, oh, this is bad. This is good. Like, no. If you just go beyond that into what is, you realize that there's an eternal peace and
Ah,
joy and love there. And so that's what that's what Healing House is designed to do.
yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. And the spirit of revealing of also what I'm doing, it's to reconnect to our real essence. And our real essence is love, actually. It's pure love. But we have to, go behind the conditioned thoughts, our trauma experiences. Uh, yeah, a lot of, void that is separating us from this true nature. And at each moment, we can return to it when we know, first of all, that it exists. And second, that we can go or come back to it through, I don't like the word tools because it's too much like, this machine human, but through
Right.
practice, journey, through this way. And there is a lot of different approach that can like help us come back to this true nature of us, true essence that is pure love, that is peace. And music is for sure one of them. As you said, like in French, we say le son primordial, like this sound that create everything. And there is more and more scientists today that are looking through sound, through the power of sound that is able to shape matter, how it we can use sound to heal. And what we loved also through revealing is like to see what science is showing today, showing us today, is proving, and how it's converged with ancient wisdom. And sound healing, it's like it exists for
It's the oldest thing we've got,
forever.
pretty much. Yeah.
And, just to come back to, okay, your journey, I just read one of your posts recently saying, someone told me that I will never feel a club with my music, and now I did it.
Right.
It was not so easy, I imagine, to go with this concept in the club scene. How is
Yeah.
how was your experience?
Yeah, I mean it's an ongoing thing. And I've learned to really just enjoy that journey because it's just fun to see where it goes. Like I'm on the ride with everyone, and that's such a beautiful thing to see it from that perspective because you realize that the ups and the downs are both part of the joy of it. And so, I mean, I think they're just on the surface, they seem like two different emotional states, the state of meditation, the state of being just sort of centered and at peace, and maybe this idea of being really amped up at the club, with loud stimulation, and there's people like bumping into each other potentially, and like I think it's also part of club culture, especially in, at least in America, it kind of has its ups and downs, but the there's it's an environment in which there's potential for it to kind of go into more of the lower chakra, not to get too, woo-woo spiritual, but into the lower chakra places of, like wanting to have like the best table at the club or show like be wearing the flashiest clothes or like people are there looking to hook up with other people or whatever it is like it became something that the house music scene was not like those things have always been part of it, but really it's about people being free to be themselves and to be authentic and to be in the moment with everyone else to feel connected. And so to me, like that's what meditation is about bringing the stuff under the surface out to the surface, which allows you to heal and to just see it and honor it. And so like clubs or venues that traditionally host dance music, to me, they are a healing space. They're their own type of temple, and they also have incredible sound systems, which allows you to, be really precise with the way that you apply frequency healing potentially, which is like a really cool thing that I want to continue to explore. But I think it's just, the scene kind of went in a direction where a lot of the mainstream stuff is very like not always aggressive, but kind of like a little bit sterile sometimes,
Mhm.
maybe people are, it's not comfortable to like be super sincere and out with just that joy of being and like, saying that you love everyone. Like it's become something that's not necessarily like that big a part of our mainstream culture. Like people will look at you like, yo, are you okay? You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to be like cool over here. Like, and like that's fine. Like I love all music and like all vibes and scenes, but for me, I think I was hitting a disconnect with my own music project because that's not who I am. Like I'm kind of a hippie. I'm someone that's very loving and open to everyone and so when I was trying to sort of hold on to this cool DJ persona before, it just wasn't really clicking because I didn't wasn't able to find the energy within myself to put out enough for that because there's just not enough there for me. Like that's not what life is about or music is about for me. For me, it's about, you know, healing house. It's all those things that it embodies, which is people of every age, every color, every life path, all being together in a space. And like those have always been the most fun parties to me, is where it's like people that you would never imagine being together, all just like having the best time and just getting
Yes.
hyped or being like in the feeling of the emotion. And it's not always like pure happy emotion either. Like sometimes it is sad or heavy. Like those are parts of the human experience that deserve to be honored as well. And when we create a space where everyone feels safe and comfortable with that, that's when the magic happens, in my opinion. And then
I
that's,
agree.
to me, that's honoring the roots of house music and dance music too, because those scenes came from, the gay and LGBTQ and Black communities where they weren't necessarily given a space in uh mainstream clubs where they felt comfortable, and they started their own kind of scene, but it wasn't just exclusive. Like everyone was welcome there, and that's what all the prophets talk about. It's like turn the other cheek, kill them with kindness, and create a space that's inviting for everyone. And
Yeah.
that's how you start a revolution, because everyone wants to go there. Like who wants to hang out in the place that's exclusive and has a bad vibe? Like everyone just wants a good vibe at the end of the day. So that's what I try to do. And you know, I think feeling is believing. And so now that I've been blessed with, this incredible community all over the world, and people are starting to invite me into these different environments to play, the shows just keep getting better and more fun and powerful. And so the more that people see the proof of concept, the more they're realizing like, oh, this isn't really that fundamentally different from what we want. We actually want the same thing. And it's like there's more than enough time to have all these different environments at the club. So why not, give
Yeah.
give that healing house a little shine too.
Yeah. Did you play in Europe?
I'm gonna be coming to Europe this summer, which I'm super excited about. First
Where?
time. I'm gonna be I have a few dates up at lincolnjester.com, but I'm gonna be in the UK at
Okay.
a festival called Paradise, and then I'm also gonna be in Greece at Agape Zoe Festival in Corfu, which is a healing
Okay.
medicine music
Cool.
festival.
Thank you for sharing this date with us because we really want to. I think there is this experience of hearing your music on Spotify. And also living your music with you mixing in the present moment. I think it's another experience that must be even more like wow. So
I
I'm
love it.
so
I love
looking
being with
forward.
everyone. Yeah, I just love, getting to meet everyone in person. It's so powerful, and it's really why I do it, to bring everyone together. And I just feel so like lucky and honored by the people that resonate with Healing House and like what I'm doing and feel connected to it. I'm always just so blown away